Hi guys. It's something with me and those animals. I decided to record here, and there are sea lions here. It's like a group of sea lions, like three of them maybe. I think a couple of them are babies. Maybe you'll see them passing by. And the thesis of this video is in the name. Creating is an act of rebellion. It took me so much time and energy to get here and get in front of the camera to actually record, because I felt like such an imposter, and all of these negative beliefs started flushing into my head, being like, no, your opinion doesn't matter, you shouldn't record this, you just like do something else, this is not important, no one cares, you're gonna produce something terrible, you're gonna cringe at yourself. But step by step I talked to my friend, I tried to convince myself, I told myself, okay, I'm just gonna go there and not record, just chill, and then I'll try to record a little bit. It's not gonna work out, just go leave and not do it. But the point is, one thing that inspired me in the past couple of weeks is this wonderful podcast that my friend Diba again sent to me, created by Ismatu. Wait, I forgot. One thing that inspired me in the past 3 weeks and inspired the title of this video and the whole content of it is this podcast that my friend Diba sent to me, created by Ismatu, and they are talking how we've been traumatized into not reading because we would be easier to oppress that way. And that podcast hit so hard. I highly recommend listening to it. Basically, the sea lion is really close. Basically, in that podcast, they're saying that we've been traumatized as children by our educational system and by other forces in our lives to not enjoy reading, so that as adults we would be easier to be oppressed, because most of the people in power consume all of the difficult material through reading and through analyzing, critical thinking, and developing their own arguments, while they want the rest of the public to consume easier material, TV and videos, short form videos that are more for entertainment rather than education, as Ismatu says in their video. And later they also mention how not only we don't read more difficult material, it's very rare that we as adults create, because we've also been traumatized into creating something ourselves, writing ourselves, developing those arguments. And that is why I think creating can be a radical act, an act of rebellion, because when we create, we oppose forces that are in power in our lives, in our world, forces that control us and stop us from it. Even on this example of me getting here, I kept asking myself, these insecurities and these negative beliefs that stop me from coming to front of this camera, trying to create, trying to form my thoughts and to transmit this message to you in some way, these beliefs and insecurities, who are they benefiting? And the answer is quite easy. They're benefiting, capitalism, consumerism, because instead of creating something that is easier to revert to, is consuming things, either buying them or watching them, because creating sometimes can be really difficult, because you have to face yourself and you have to face all these insecurities that lie within you, and you have to oppose them, and you have to try to translate something that is so difficult to translate from inside of you. And that is why creating can be an act of rebellion on so many levels. And thinking about it helps me so much these days, because when we create, we might actually find joy in the process, and we find internal fulfillment from doing something that potentially did not require contributing to capitalism and buying things and consuming things, and that is inherently fulfilling in itself. And that doesn't benefit many people, especially if you're creating without the desire to sell, especially if you're creating just for the sole purpose of it, just for the sole joy of it. tending to the feelings and thoughts inside of you and trying to make them material, trying to put them into this world and share it with other people. Also, creating can be an act of rebellion because it moves people to collaborate, to create communities. Because when an art piece is created, piece of writing is created, inevitably people, and shared with other people through different means, people organize, they gather, they talk, they create rebellious forces, and no one needs that, no one wants that. They want to keep us separated from each other and in our own lanes, thinking that our problems are only our own and caused by ourselves, when in fact, when we see that someone is struggling or going through the same thing through their art, through what they created, what they shared, we can create a sense of community, companionship, camaraderie that would promote opposition, promote rebellion, stop us from consuming, and help us create more. And by creating in the broader sense, I think this is a very raw argument, and I feel so imposter talking about it, because I think I should have read more, or I should have explored or written down this argument more. But I think it's so hard for me to write things down before I start recording them, for many reasons, and I just try to get into the habit of it. Hopefully further down the lane I'll develop more coherent thoughts from different sources and try to weave them into the narrative and essay. But right now, yapping to the camera seems like the easiest way to access this kind of communication and this kind of creation. Again, because for one reason or another, I was also taught to be scared of creating, to be scared to put myself out there, to be scared to put my own thoughts and feelings and ideas out there. And this is, I think, a step towards breaking that. Just talking to the camera, yapping to the camera, sharing and seeing that other people resonate. I hope this resonates in some way. To sum up, creating can be an act of rebellion because it forces us to face insecurities that were bred by the ruling systems. Second, it gives us an opportunity to abstract ourselves from consumerism and contributing to the economy and just enjoying the moment. And three, it helps create community, camaraderie, and understanding within people, because this is how we communicate. You know what I mean? I hope you do. Where are the sea lions? I want them to be closer. I see them. They're just chilling there. I think they need to get out of the water, but they don't have anywhere to be. I'm scared that they're lost. Poor babies. Anyway, on other things that inspired me in the past couple of weeks, it has been anger. I've been particularly angry at men for one reason or another, in relation to my ex and to my dad and to some other random men in my life. And this anger is just so, it just fuels me so much, and it gave me a lot of energy in the past weeks, and I'm proud of myself for being able to bring it out of myself at least a little bit and show it and express it in some way or the other. And hopefully, but it's really hard to express it too, because I've never learned how to express it, and I hope to learn it somehow, some way, but at least acknowledging it is already good. Another thing that inspired me is the book that I haven't yet finished. I've been reading it for 2 months, and it was recommended by my friend Chen Han. And I have 10 pages left, okay? I am an incredibly slow reader. Again, for the same reason, I've been traumatized to read before, so I'm trying to get back into it. It's called Minor Feelings. And that book is just so incredibly powerful. It's so fueled with anger. And it talks about Asian American experience in the United States and how a lot of the feelings that Asian Americans feel have been called or perceived as minor and not important. And they're kind of like, it's a collection of essays, but it's an incredibly powerful work because it just voices so many things that I've never heard being voiced before. And it seems so angry and sad and heavy because it just shows so so much shit that happened to Asian Americans in the US, and it's just incredibly heartbreaking. But I'm very grateful that I read it. It changed my perspective on many things. Another thing that really inspired me recently has been Mary Oliver. I've just swallowed her book called 1,000 Mornings, and it's just such a beautiful collection of works. And then I decided to take another book called Devotions. It's a collection of her poems, and something about her about her work just brings so much peace to me, because anytime I read it, even in the morning, even if it's just the one poem, it makes me feel like I'm in nature, because a lot of her themes revolve around nature, and she kind of talks a lot about her internal world and the external world of nature, and like the little things she noticed and how important and relevant they are, and how irrelevant our internal problems are. And I've just been loving it. It's been incredible. Also, my back hurts. I feel like I've been slouching in front of the camera. I hope it looks good, because I'm not recording it second time. Let me read one of Mary Oliver's poems to you. I go down to the shore, it's called. I go down to the shore in the morning, and depending on the hour, the waves are rolling in or moving out. And I say, oh, I am miserable. What shall I do? And the sea says, in its lovely voice, excuse me, I have work to do. It's just so good. Another thing that inspired me recently, and now that I'm recording this and like trying to go back to the things that inspire me, I realized that I really want to visit more museums and actively pursue things that inspire me, because I think I've been neglecting that recently. But one of the artists that I really enjoyed in the Young Museum in San Francisco his name is Liming Wei, and there were a couple of his pieces in the museum, but one of the pieces, what was it called? It was called, the Letter Writing Project. And basically there were like 3 booths, and there were a lot of shelves, and all of the shelves had little clips that held letters in them. And you were invited to take a piece of paper, which was provided, and a pencil, and write a letter to your loved ones, because I think he lost his grandma, and he was trying to navigate that grief and inviting people to explore their emotions about the relationships that have ended, or people far away from them, or like people who have passed away. And I have written a letter and mailed it, actually, because they also mail it for free to my ex, and that was such a cathartic experience, because these booths are very minimalistic and the light is a bit low there, and you kind of like face 3 walls of letters, and you feel very separated from the rest of the world, although you're like in a crowded museum. And I felt like I was transported in the world of my own emotions, and just it made me appreciate the power of art, especially interactive art, and that made me realize that this is the type of art that I want to do, that people take a concept, take an idea, are transformed into a space, and have a chance to interact with their own emotions and thoughts on a specific topic. So yeah, that inspired me. Nothing else comes to my mind. Nature, as always. Nature, always an inspiration. Always an inspiration. Also, I've promised you guys that I will be posting a video of me talking, a video of like my artwork, but it's been so hard to create something. I've been working on a documentary, okay? I think the topic really excites me, but it's taking some time. But I'm working on it. I promise to get it to you at some point. But I'm very grateful for all of your comments and responses and likes, and they really drive me forward. And I hope I'm not going to cringe with myself too much, and I really hope that you will enjoy this video too. And I hope I pronounce Ismatu. Hope I pronounced Ismatu's name right. And yes, there's a little crab here. Hi, crab. What are you seeing? That crab, cancer? It took like a little piece of something and carried it with it. So beautiful. Isn't this beautiful? What are our sea lions doing? I hope I'm not sunburned. Anyway, thank you. Bye.